All right, Ash, welcome back, mate. Another episode of Footy Nuffies. Good to be back. Great to be back. Hey, Collingwood, stick a fork in them. Done. They cannot win the premiership this year. I'm fed up with them. They've got the marketing team running their team selection. They're resting Pendles against Hawthorn when they should be playing him. They're resting him this week against Sydney when they need him. They've lost Darcy Moore. They've lost Darcy Cameron to injury. They're done. They're not winning the premiership this year. They're more worried about Pendlebury's record-breaking 433rd game, which is super exciting for all of us. But they're worried about what gold number is going to be on his jumper and all this extra rubbish. They're done. Collingwood fans, pack it in, ladies and gentlemen. You are done. Don't worry about September. Book your September holidays if you want. Bali's pretty good. Where else should they go? Hawaii. There you go. Go to Hawaii. You can start booking your September holidays. They're cooked. Anything to add to that? What do you think? Yes, no, being too harsh?
That's going to happen. No, they might make like the 10th spot.
Oh, yeah. Look, hey,
they won't make the grand final.
Nah, no way. I agree with you. They'll probably play. They may play a wild card, or they may win the wild card. They may play an elimination final. They're not contenders. They're cooked. Talk about Geelong being a bunch of geriatrics. They got the geriatric bus down at Collingwood, Gosh's Paddock. That's where Melbourne trains. I don't know. The old Olympic Park. That's where Collingwood trains. Yeah, they're done. They're cooked. Stick a fork in them. Hey, Nuffy quote of the week, mate. Got another one. The umpires used to be sponsored by OPSM, which is like a glasses store. Go get an eye test and whatever else. Yeah. They're not now. I don't know who they're sponsored by now. Is it
Chemist
Warehouse? Yeah. Anyway, it used to be sponsored by OPSM. So back in the day, you'd say, the umpire would make a poor decision, or perhaps wouldn't call the decision that you think was there. So you'd yell out, "You should have gone to Specsavers," which was another optometrist essentially, or another store you could buy glasses from. But anyway, that was, I think, the slogan for Specsavers back in the day. Should have gone to Specsavers to save money. But that's the other Nuffy quote of the week. I'm sure we will come across more. I'll have to reach out to the Nuffies out there, the Footy Nuffies. The Nuffy newsroom, Ash. First off the ranks there.
Vossy's
done. Now, last week we had our thumbnail for the YouTube episode saying time's up, Michael Voss. Now, that was fortuitous because then time was up and he's been given... Well, he quit on them, actually. But I didn't necessarily think it was going to be last week or this week that it was all going to happen. Thought he might have a few more weeks up his sleeve, but interestingly, I think it was the CEO... Oh, was it CEO or the president come out this week and said, look, there goes the fire truck or ambulance. Come out this week, the CEO or president, and said, look, we were going to roll Vossy at the end of last year, but he had 1 year to go on his contract, so we thought, we'd see what he could do. Hey, gosh, if they're talking like that as an organisation, that they're gonna roll the coach, and then they end up going through, like, I don't know. That was a strange comment. I found that really strange. The list manager's also gone. Austin, or whatever his name is. He's pulled the pin as well. So.
Did they sack him or did he sack himself?
No, I think he resigned. I think he quit.
Like Michael Voss.
Yep. But just big changes. I saw an article on the AFL website today suggesting some list changes just this week alone. Now, I don't know if they're happening or not, but suggesting, Nick Newman, done, 33, he's done. There was a few other names there as well. I think Francis Evans was on there. He's only about 24, 25, but he was on there, and a couple other guys. Who's number 6? Zach Williams, he was on there just saying, drop him, don't worry about him now. You've got to move forward with the next crop of young guys. So be interesting to see what Carlton does there. The next one, Naz. Naz was a late out last week against Gold Coast up at Darwin. Apparently a niggle in the calf. Turns out he's come back. So he had a scan last week or before the game, and it was inconclusive. They didn't think it was an issue, so he jumped on the plane, he was at the ground, and wasn't quite right, so didn't play. He's come back to Melbourne, had another scan, and he's got a calf strain of some sort, so he's out for 3 to 4 weeks. I got Carl Wilkie, who's a test this week. had a back injury there and didn't play a lot of that game last week against Gold Coast. So he is potentially missing this week. And also Liam Ryan, who's got a calf injury as well, that's 3 to 4 weeks out now. They're just under the pump a little bit here, St Kilda, and we're going to talk about them later on, but some injuries mounting. They've got 18 Lamborghinis, or they think they're 18 Lamborghinis. They've spent that much money. They've underperformed. They probably sneak in for a wild card.
Yeah, I think they will.
Probably do nothing though. I don't know.
They'll be one of the sides. If you play wild card and play them, it'd be pretty lucky.
Well, you'd probably be excited to play them, wouldn't you? I wouldn't want to play them at Marvel. I'd play them at the MCG or Kardinia Park. They'd never play them at Kardinia Park, but not in a final. But yeah, they're interesting. Probably we should have said as well, it's the Doug Nicholas round this week, the Indigenous round. So we might even try and tag some of the jumpers. Have you got a favourite yet of the Indigenous jumpers this year?
I haven't seen many.
Haven't seen many? Yeah, we'll have to have a look. The Hawthorn one looked pretty good. The Giants one looked pretty cool. Geelong's is similar to last year, but there's a few subtle differences. Yeah, but there's always the West Coast Eagles one. That looks really cool.
I would have thought. West Coast second.
Big eagle in the middle, and yeah, I'll pop it. We'll pop it up here, and we'll throw those jumpers in because there's a few good ones. But that's really great. Recognise some of the great Indigenous footballers, present footballers, and also those of bygone eras as well. But yeah, hopefully we've got number 17 for the Cats, Lawson Humphries, and Jack Martin. They're both Indigenous boys, and they've been going really well recently. So hopefully they have another big game tonight. It is Thursday for those time stamping it. So we'll get this one edited and get it up. Hamstring awareness, mate. Hamstring watch. Another one. We've been speaking about this all year. The amount of soft tissue injuries with the speed of the game increasing. Tom Barrass now. And talk about Hawthorn later when we're looking at this week's fixture. But Tom Barrass has done his hammy last week against Fremantle. Or what are they? Their Indigenous name is it Warrior Up?
Warrior.
Is that that's the Fremantle Indigenous name this week?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he did that last week against them, and geez, that was a great game, wasn't it? Fremantle, the way they, I thought they were done for all money, but they just turned it on in the last 5 minutes of the game. Yeah. Friday night double headers. It's going to be a big thing for. They've just released the fixture today for rounds. Is it 15 to 22?
16 to 22.
16 to 22. And Friday night double headers is a big thing they're going to roll with. What do you think of the double headers on a Friday night?
I like it.
You like it?
The only thing that I don't like it is that there's only 2 games on Sunday normally. And Westy plays 3 games on Saturday.
Yep.
Because I like it 1, 1, 4, 3.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say about the double header on Friday night, it's cool, especially if it's like a Western Australian game. So it starts like 40 minutes later. So then after you finish, I don't know, say if it's a Victorian game, after you finish that one, you get to watch another 30 minutes of, the last quarter of the other game. But the double header, if you've got KO, you can do a split screen viewing and you can watch both of them. But on your traditional television, Channel 7, whatever, you can only watch one game at a time. So that's my only thing. You just can't see, you can't watch the other game as well at the same time.
I don't know if you do a split screen.
On KO you can, yeah. But yeah, I agree with you. Only 2 games on a Sunday. It's better when it's 3, like, let's say that 1 o'clocker, the 4 o'clocker, and then into like a 6 or 7 o'clocker. But anyway, yeah, so you're going to see more Friday double headers, and Thursday night right through to round 22, I think. Thursday night game, so that's good. Geelong's got 2 of them.
No, I think they have 3.
3, do they? Oh, sorry, they might have 3.
They've got St Kilda, no. They got
Brisbane on it, down at Geelong.
St Kilda at Geelong too.
Yeah.
Then there might be someone else on it.
Yeah, well, I think you'll find Sydney, Geelong, Hawthorn as well, Freo, those top sides.
Melbourne got one.
Melbourne got some, prime time stuff, which is good too, and they deserve it. Brian Myers, so his knee is being held together with a little bit of cheap glue. He's got a minor ACL tear, or there's some damage to his ACL.
And he's playing.
He survived in the reserves last week. He's on the plane. He's been named to play this week against Brisbane. So probably by the time this video's up and on YouTube, we'll know whether or not he's actually in the side. What do you reckon? Are you worried about Grind Myers at all?
I'm a bit worried.
Bit worried it could just snap at any time. Hopefully it doesn't. Because it's essentially a 12-month injury, isn't it? By the time recovery and everything. So, Toby Green, have you heard the whispers? Could be a cat.
Wait, what?
Could be a cat. So Geelong.
No way.
Geelong are gonna throw.
Yeah, Geelong need to throw everything at him.
They're gonna throw everything at Butters, Zach Butters.
Are they gonna try and get him?
Wow, we suspect they are. Like the footballing world suspects them and the doggies. I think Collingwood might be trying to get Butters as well. Hawthorn probably will throw everything, and it's going to probably come down to, I suppose, one, where does he want to live? He grew up supporting the Bulldogs, so that helps them. But also, how much money? Like Geelong, I can't see Geelong paying over 1.3 or 4 mil a season for him, whereas someone like the doggies might be willing to pay 1.7 or 1.8.
Yeah.
So will he take a little pay cut? Maybe, maybe not. But if Butters, we can't get him down to Geelong, there was, who was it? It was Jay Clark, one of the Herald Sun writer on Fox Footy. He was suggesting, maybe Toby Green is an option for the Cats. He can play midfield minutes. He's tough, but he can also play down forward. And I mean, the last few games he's played against Geelong down at Kardinia Park, he's destroyed us.
I know.
He's kicked 4 goals. I reckon if you go back through those games at Kardinia Park,
it was like 23 or 4 when he kicked that check side.
Yeah, that got him over the line, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was that one? Yeah. I don't think he went as well against us last year up at the Giants Stadium, but I'm talking about 2024, 2023 down at Kardinia Park.
Yeah,
he was unbelievable.
Really.
So I, for one, being a cat nuffy, try not to talk too much about the Cats on this channel, but I'd have him as a cat. I love the way he goes about his footy. He's some of the footballing fraternity and the football world can't stand him or hate him because I suppose he's so ruthless on the footy field. But I reckon if he was on your team and you were teammates with him, you'd love to play with him. People like that. What do you think? Would you have him? Yeah. All right. Under the pump, Ashy.
Collingwood, they'll lose to Sydney this week.
Yeah, they will lose and lose by a lot. So Sydney's got Charlie Curnow coming back in. What's his name? Jai Sarong. He's coming back in. Collingwood are losing Darcy Cameron through concussion protocols. Pat Lipinski through concussion protocols.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Darcy
Moore.
And Pendles.
Oh, Darcy Cameron might be something else. Sorry, that's his ankle. Darcy Cameron's an ankle issue. Darcy Moore and Pat Lipinski concussion issues.
And
Pendle's being rested because, wants to play the game against West Coast next week and beat them by 80 points and fair dinkum. I get that. I do get that. But, I mean, put him on the bloody plane. Like, they need him this week against Sydney. And I was hammering into him at the start of the episode, and I stand by it. They're not going to win the granny this year. They cannot convert inside 50. For a couple of weeks there against Essendon, and then who they play the week after us? And Hawthorn,
Yeah, they got 15 goals through.
Yeah, and then you think, okay, maybe they
that's
can.
18 scoring shots, that's all.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're getting sides, I have 30 normally, or 25. But
you're still getting done, aren't you?
Yeah. Whereas
18, 15's right. It's good going, but
they got 23 on the weekend, and John got 32. And same with that Hawthorn game. Hawthorn got 28 and they got 18.
Yeah, plus they had, on the weekend, they had 7 more inside 50s than Geelong. They just can't convert. Missing my checks a big, that doesn't help them, does it? Membry and, who's the other bloke, McStay, they probably, did they put a lot of eggs in their basket with Jamie Elliott? Like he kicked 50 odd goals last year.
Yeah, and then they might have.
But he's not impacting the same this year. Yeah, their next run, You know, I don't know, like they got Swans.
Eagles, I reckon they win.
Eagles, they smash.
I know,
but then the Dogs and the D's.
No, I reckon they lose both.
They could lose. They could win and lose 3 there.
So what are they? They're 4 and 4 and a draw. That might mean they're 5 and 7 and a draw.
They're still probably going to scrape into the wild card, but I don't know. If does Dacos go to Tasmania?
Oh, yeah, I would.
He's going to get. They're going to throw that much cash at him. They'll probably give him the captaincy. Like they'll struggle without him. They had. I don't want to ham on too much more, but they had Ocean Mullen did a big number on Dacos on the weekend. So he ended up with 29 touches. He had 17 in the first half, mind you, but he was going at what, 47 or 49%
47
disposal efficiency?
Or 39.
Yeah.
So he went for 55 for the whole game.
Yeah. So he's 17 kicks in that, or 17 disposals in that first half. 8 of them are hitting a target. 9 of them aren't. 9 of them are turnovers. You know, and then he had 12 in the second half. So he ended up at 55% disposal efficiency. So 15 have hit targets and 14 haven't. Yeah, it was a bad night for Collingwood. Darcy Moore went down like it.
Really, everything sort of went back.
Well, yeah, they were in the game till half time. But I don't know. I think they got their marketing team managing their team selection, trying to sell a few extra jumpers and with gold number 10s on them. I don't know. That sounds, maybe it's harsh, I don't know. Come at me, Collingwood Nuffies. Collingwood Nuffie to a Geelong Nuffie. We'll talk it out. I don't know. I'm worried about you. Not saying Geelong's going to go out and win the flag. I'm just putting a line through Collingwood. Mate, this next one, I'm putting a line through these guys as well. I'm so fed up with watching these. St Kilda. Now, they're going to win this weekend. They got Tigers. But honestly, they can't beat good sides. They've invested so much money. They got rid of their captain last year, which I thought was a dog move. Like Jack Steele, he's stuck back with them. He probably could have gone and chased money a few years ago, but he stuck with them. They got rid of him.
Now he's playing pretty good at Melbourne.
Bloody oath he is, and good on him. Yep. And Melbourne look far more dangerous than St Kilda. So they got Tigers. They win that, of course. Then they got Freo away. They'll get done. Freo's damn good at home. They've got the Hawks. They've got the Swans away. They got the Giants at home. Now they knocked the Giants off at the Giants Stadium earlier this year on a wet night.
But they probably lose it this time.
Well, that's the thing. And Giants have got a few extra players back since then. But
How can they lose all those and beat Tigers?
Beat the Tigers, yeah. So what's that? 1 and 5.
They're going out.
Again, a bit like Collingwood. I see St Kilda sneaking into a wild card. But if there was no wild card, I don't see St Kilda finishing top 8. No way. In fact, I could see St Kilda finishing as low as 12th or something, really. Don't know. What do you reckon? Are they fair calls under the pumps this week? Yeah.
And then
highlights, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Highlights.
Ocean Mullen did a number on Dacos, but he's still at 21 and 427 metres down.
Yeah, he had a massive night. So he had the Bont earlier this season. Butters probably touched him up there a few weeks ago. He had, was it Sheasel the other week? Did well on Sheasel. He's having a great season. He's starting to impact going the other way. Not just being a defensive lockdown tagger. He's impacting the other way. So no, that was awesome. Again, I don't want to ham on the Cats too much. Jacob Van Rooyen, 5 goals on the weekend. He's actually starting to really play well this season. Did he kick 6 a few weeks ago?
Yeah, against Melbourne. I meant St Kilda round 1.
Yeah, which is awesome because the last couple of years, he sort of perhaps. I mean, the big guys take a bit longer, don't they? But he hasn't really progressed, perhaps as well as some might have thought. But this year, he seems to have taken that next step in his development. He's great to watch. When he's lining up in front of goal, usually I'm backing him in. I reckon he's a great set shot. I don't know what his accuracy is. Do you know what his accuracy is overall? No. Isaac Rankin, career best game, 33 and a goal against the Tigers on Sunday. So the Tigers were in that till, early in the fourth quarter.
We didn't watch any of it, but listen to it.
Listened to it and just read up on some of the highlights, but the Tigers really pushed them. But Isaac and Jordan Dawson as well really carried them and took them over the line. That's the last game Adelaide will play at the MCG this year until finals. How about that? It just goes to show how much, like Victorian sides that are playing at the MCG regularly, like, to be fair, your Collingwoods, your Essendons, Richmonds. I mean, Richmond and Essendon aren't doing nothing this year, and Collingwood probably won't either. But
Melbourne.
It does really, Melbourne as well, really helps playing on the G. Geelong have really benefited from, 20 years of being a really successful club, because now they get to play on the G quite a bit as well against your Hawthorns, your Collingwoods, your Carltons, Essendons as well, although we've got Essendon down at Kidney Park this year. But last game for Adelaide at the MCG. We saw Nick as well, who helped us get into the Adelaide rooms there a few weeks ago, and he said to just reach out sometime, so we'll keep that in mind. I think Adelaide's playing Essendon at Marvel towards the end of the year, so might see if he can get us in down there. It'd be great to see the Marvel change rooms and meet a few more of the players. And then the Doggies, mate, they've kept their season alive against, was that Port Adelaide last week? 2-point win?
Yep.
Man, that was a hell of a game. I was watching that upstairs. That was a double header on Friday night after Hawthorn Fremantle, then watched the last quarter of the Doggies, or it was the other way around. No. Anyway.
No, Hawthorn Fremantle played on Thursday night.
Thursday, was it? Well, it must have been Brisbane Carlton, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, they were brilliant. Any other highlights we missed there from last week?
No, not really.
Not really. I think we probably covered everything. Carlton played a great second half, but wasn't enough to save their coach.
This time was the other way around. Carlton?
Yeah, actually, I'm backing Carlton to win this week. We'll get to their game against the Doggies.
Ooh.
I just, often when coaches are sacked, the team comes out and win the following week.
I know, it happened to West Coast too. Adam Simpson when he got sacked.
So therein lies the question: should Carlton, if they win this week, should they sack the interim coach?
What's that?
And then get a new coach next week, Josh Fraser, sack him, and then get a new interim coach next week.
So then they keep winning.
So then they might keep winning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mathematically, there's still a chance to make finals, mate.
And then they go 15-8.
Yep, and they've been through 15 coaches. Maybe. Alrighty, this week, mate, let's have a look at it. Lions, Cats tonight. What have you got? Oh, your heart's torn, isn't it? Your heart and your head.
Sort of leaning towards the Lions and both the Cats.
Oh, you dog. Yeah, it's a tough one.
Okay.
No. Oh, look, no. You go. I think the Lions probably win.
Yeah, probably.
Realistically. But if the Cats, apparently it's a little bit wet up there tonight. The Cats are probably more used to wet weather being down here in Victoria.
Yes. Last time it was wet at the Gabba, so Geelong won.
That's right. I wouldn't be surprised to see Geelong win. Let's put it that way. But I think the Lions win.
I'll say the Lions by 12.
Cats by 2.
Yeah. Alright.
Swannies and Pies. Swans by 52.
Swans by 71.
Yep. Suns and Power.
Suns by 71.
Yeah, it's up in Darwin, man. They don't lose up there. They're 9-0. Suns by 45. Crows and Roos.
Crows by 31.
Crows by 18. Roos will be up and about.
I know, yeah.
They're a good side. They're doing so well. D's and Hawks. Oh my. Now, did we talk about it? I think we were talking about it before. We haven't talked about it on this episode.
I'm going to go the Hawks still though. Hawks by 2 points.
D's by 8. So Hawks are missing Gunston.
Yeah, I know.
Barras has done his hammy. And Scrimshaw down back. And also Marby or Chol. He's been out for a couple of weeks now. So their forward line looks so different tonight. This weekend. They'll have Cal Shadir down there. They'll have Mitch Lewis still. But, yeah, interesting. Very interesting.
All right.
Anyway, Blues and Dogs.
Dogs by 2020.
Blues by 22, Bulldogs season over. Oh, geez, that's harsh.
I was confident.
Bombers and Freo. Freo by 194.
Okay.
I'm joking.
Free by 126.
Yeah, Freo will probably get that one. Although the Bombers looked alright last week.
Okay,
they probably wet the bed, didn't they?
Yeah. Free by 100.
Oof. Freo by 40 points.
Yeah.
Saints and Tigers. Oh, Saints.
Saints by...
They've got some injuries though.
Saints by 5.
Saints by 20. The Tigers, they've got injuries, man. Haven't they got injuries? Eagles, Giants.
Giants by 82.
It's over in
Oh,
WA.
no,
Okay, Giants by 30.
Oh, yeah.
Eagles might surprise us, but you had another good week there in footy.
Yep.
South Barwon.
Yeah.
Got them by 10 points.
Yep.
Yeah, you got a couple of goals late in the last quarter, didn't they?
No. Oh, yeah, they did.
Well, not late, but in the last quarter, and we just couldn't convert. But we still got the win, so we're 3-0 for the year. There's whispers about a statue for the coach. We're just putting a bit of cool water on that one. But, you know, so long as they get my good side, if they could shave off 10 kilos on the belly, yeah, build a bronze statue, that's all right. Down at the Ammo's home ground. Kids are brilliant. They're having a great season and they're developing really well, which is great. That's probably it. Who we got this week? We've got St Mary's, so that's another big game. They're 3-0 as well. We'll battle of the undefeated. We'll see what happens. Go well. Good luck to your teams this week, except for Lions. And we'll see you next week.